morning, my fine feathered hiker friends. This is Little Hike Mike, and I'm out on a little hike. So this video is for you beginners who perhaps are contemplating starting to hike or get into hiking or backpacking. And I wanted to express, I went through much of the contemplation that you're going through right now to decide to what degree you would like to get into hiking and backpacking. A hike is defined in the dictionary as to walk or march a great distance, especially through rural areas, for pleasure or exercise, and also military training. But we're not training for the military. Today, I decided to make this video on one of the coldest days in eastern North Carolina. It was 34 degrees when I left my house this morning, but I'm a seasoned hiker. I've been hiking through all sorts of different weather patterns and temperatures, rain, not so much snow because I live in the south, but I've been hiking quite a long time. And when I started to hike, it was the intention to get out into more remote rural areas and to do actual backpacking and hiking. But in order to become seasoned, I had to start somewhere. I had to start by walking. And as you can see today in the background that I'm walking through some of the neighborhoods, and this is more or less to maintain my trail legs or to maintain my distance hiking, and so when I do go on a hike, I'm not as stressed physically. So hiking can be a different thing to different people, and I decided that hiking for me was to also to backpack, and perhaps through that hiking is a hobby for me to be able to stay in shape. I'm considered a senior hiker, which is past the age of 65. One of the other things I wanted to make this video for was to inspire and encourage those of you who are have more time on their hands to do something fun and exciting. And I consider hiking to be fun and exciting. So what is hiking to you? You have to decide to the degree of which you would like to hike. So you define that for yourself. So let's go on a little hike with Little Hike Mike. Enjoy. So why should you hike? That's a good question. For one thing, you have a desire to exercise, but you don't necessarily want to go to the gym. You just want to walk or hike. And a hike is different to different people. They say, hike your own hike. Well, in the beginning, I just started to walk. Maybe to gain stamina, I just walked a short distance. I might have made it a goal to walk half a mile or a mile. That was my goal. So a hike should be goal-oriented. You should decide before you go that you want to get some exercise, you want to see the neighborhood, or you want to see the trees and the forest, or you just want to get out there by yourself You just want to get out there and, you know, contemplate, pray. You just want to be one with nature. Maybe you're hoping that you're going to see some ferocious wild animals. Put yourself in a position of uncomfortableness, because sometimes it can be uncomfortable. Starting out this morning, it was cold, man. I was prepared though. I learned to be prepared. So, why should you hike? Hike for your own reasons. Hike because you want to. Maybe you don't want to. Maybe you just want to see, experiment. Maybe you just want to see what you can do. Anyway, you decide about why you should hike. I've made my decision. Now you make your decision. Maybe after the first hike or two, you decide that hiking isn't for you. Well, you can turn this video off right now. Anyway, this is a little hike bike. We'll answer some more questions for you coming up. The question is, where should you hike? So, you've decided you want to go on a little hike. Where should you go on this little hike? You decide. If you don't want to go far away from home, just stay in the neighborhood. Hike around the block. Or hike around a lot of blocks, depending on how you feel. Just so somebody knows where you are, just in case. You want to leave word or even leave a map to show people where you intend to go. I think a hike should be planned out. Pretty much. If you're going to stay in neighborhoods, if you happen to hurt your ankle or you have to stop hiking all of a sudden, people can find you. They could say, "What's wrong?" "Oh, I twisted my ankle." "Okay, who can we call?" Or you want to make sure you stay within contact, your cell phone with you. That's a good idea. Where do you think you'd like to hike? There's a lot of resources you can get on your phone that help you to know where to hike. Now, one of the ones that I've used, which I like, is called All Trails. And All Trails is an app on your phone that has suggested trails around you, around where you live, close to you. You can get in your car and drive to and go to a trailhead. Also, it has maps of existing trails that other people have already hiked on and recorded. You can record your hike. You know exactly where you are because it has GPS. If you have GPS on your phone, All Trails has GPS. Where should you hike? Well, you decide. You make up your mind. It's your hike. You You want to go on a little hike? You decide. So when should you hike? Well, I think you should hike when you want to hike. Or you should hike when you can hike. I think it's important to make time for hiking if you want to hike. Carve out a time of day that you can get out after work, before work, or if you're retired like me, you do it during the day. And the hike doesn't have to be a long hike, as you know. But when to hike is just a question again. You have to decide when you want to hike. And if you want to wait for those sunny days, or you want to wait for those warm days, then by golly, that's when you should hike. Now, some people want to challenge themselves to see if they can hike in weather that's not so nice. Like today. On one side of the equation, it's nice and sunny out. On the other side of the equation, it's cold out. But I'm prepared. When should you hike? Once again, hike when you want to hike. Hike when you can hike. But just get out there and go on a little hike. Hey again, my fine feathered hiker friends. So what are you going to need when you go on a hike? I think one of the most important things that you're going to need is a good pair of shoes. Ones that you have and feel comfortable with. But I think what you need to really do is get out there, even in your sneakers. Everybody has a pair of sneakers. And just start hiking in those and see how they feel. I think you need to put on your tennis shoes and just go out there and start hiking. If you have the resources and you want to, I don't think you should spend any money on hiking unless you decided you want to do it. And you want to do it more. Then you're going to invest in the paraphernalia that you need. But what are you going to need when you go hiking? You know, I like to try to hike in shorts when it's warmer. Today, as you can see, I have on leggings because it's a little bit cooler. But you don't need a lot to go hiking. You know, if you're going to go away from home, you're going to be gone for a longer distance, a longer time frame, I think it's important for you to take some water. So I got water with me. There it is. I have a little fanny pack. I put various things in that in case around the neighborhood even it might rain. Not today, it's not going to rain today. Sometimes you know that, you have that feeling. But if you think it's going to rain, inside my little fanny pack, I have a really compressed rain jacket. I might take an energy bar with me. Something that if I wanted a little snack, I could stop and eat a little snack. So an energy bar could really make the day. And depending on your tolerance for cooler weather, today I brought a pair of gloves with me, but as you can see today I'm not wearing. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Some people take along with them a little knapsack. A little place they can take off layers of clothing if it gets warmer and throw their jacket in or whatever and carry it on their back. Of course, I carry my phone camera on it. Some other things you might want to have when you go hiking: take your sunglasses with you. One other thing you might need, especially on a sunny day, if you're susceptible to sun and you don't want to get a sunburn, then you put a little bit of sunscreen on your nose and your ears and wherever else you think you're going to get burned. So sunscreen's a good thing to have. As you can see, I've got a hat on. So sometimes people take a hat with them. So once again, it's not rocket science, just common sense. What should you expect from hiking? Well, when you first start hiking, there's lots of questions that enter your mind. So answer them to the best of your ability. The other thing that enters your mind sometimes is the fear of hiking. So what are some of the fears of hiking? Well, especially if you're by yourself, you can say, well, what if something happens to me while I'm out there hiking? Then what? So, that could keep you from hiking. But I think in the beginning stages of hiking, you should take it a step at a time. You should go on short hikes and then gradually increase the length of your hiking. Definitely, if you plan the hike out, you should let somebody know where you're going to go hike. So just in case. But some of these things enter your mind. Some of these thoughts, some of these fears enter your mind. What else should you expect from hiking? Well, when you first start hiking, depending on your personal strength and muscle development, you're going to be a little bit sore at the end of the hike. When you feel sore at the end of a hike, you've given your body the workout that it's been missing. Now, you don't have to hurt yourself. One of the things you should do before you hike is do a few stretching exercises. A few bends. So you get your muscles used to being used. Maybe some of those muscles that are sore, you haven't used them in a while. So I think you should expect to be a little bit sore, but don't let that stop you. Depending on the pace of your hike, the pace of your gait, the pace of your walk, in my opinion, I think you're going to feel good about yourself. And I think feeling good about yourself is a big part of hiking. I think when you go out and walk, and some of my walks are 7-8 miles, sometimes 10 on my walks or my hikes, just to stay fit, I feel pretty good about myself that I know I can do that if I had to. In some of the backpacking trips I've been on, I have definitely felt good about the fact that I did prepare myself for them. So, what should you expect from a hike? Depending on where you go, you're going to see some of the sights and sounds that maybe you wouldn't ordinarily see if you're sitting on your butt in your couch or your easy chair. What else should you expect from hiking? Depending on how much you do hike, there's communities out there of hikers that hike a lot and backpack a lot. So socially, it can be a good thing. If you can find somebody that would like to do the same thing you're doing, that would be great. You could support one another. You can commiserate with one another. You can encourage one another. You can decide things and plan things together. What else should you expect from hiking? Well, I think, like any other hobby, you might expect to spend some money. So you need to maybe budget something in your expenses for doing the activity. You know, like any other sport, hiking, fishing, golfing, if you like to do it and you want to do it, you want to get good at it, I think you're going to spend the kind of money on it that you really want to, and that's relative to how comfortable do you want to be, how good do you want to be. So I think you're going to need to budget some money for the hobby of hiking. And finally, my fine feathered hiker friends, I thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw, please hit the subscribe button. And also, if you hit the bell, you'll know when another one of my videos has come out. But I sure do hope that this little video that I've done today has been helpful to you.